Hello, fellow listeners. Welcome to Brew and Banter. My name is Beatrice, but most people call me B.
My name is Neil. A lot of people know me as Noah. That's my Hebrew name. And I'm coming to you from New York.
And I'm coming to you from Miami, Florida. So let's find out what's brewing today.
Let's
So,
find out. Brewing. What's the tea, Brie? B?
so, are you gonna call me Brie, like the cheese?
I do love cheese.
Same. I always say that cheese and bread are like the two loves of my life. So,
Carbs and cheese are like the best things in life. Yeah.
yes.
The
But
best
yeah,
things are cheese and brie or brie cheese.
with a little bit of honey, chef's kiss.
Ooh, there.
Yeah, but so what I know is going on lately, last night was the 50th anniversary of SNL, the final episode of this 50th season. How was that? I know you were at the after party.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, SNL was iconic. It's a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, Lauren Michaels has literally created, it's the only live television show that is live, like real live, not
Yeah,
like,
all in real time.
yeah, because a lot of like quote unquote live shows also even have like a 20-second delay onto them.
Okay.
So, like, if you don't say like the deadly words on television that you are not allowed to say, if you look up George Carlin, he made a whole comedy skit on the seven deadly words. It's the only live show, and it is a trailblazer, and it has been extremely pivotal in my own life, not just because I'm in New York, but it also made me want to do stand-up comedy.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't even know you wanted to do stand-up comedy. That's so interesting. That's something new I just learned.
Yeah, let's see.
But yeah, SNL is super iconic. I mean, my dad introduced me to SNL when I was a kid, so I can vividly remember like in a core memory for me is watching that one skit of like the Real Housewives, but like of Disney. I'll never forget that. That was probably like one of the first skits I've ever seen of SNL. And I mean, there's so many to like talk about that are just hysterical to this day. People still, see memes on them and videos on them. So, I mean, it's such a big deal. 50 years running is huge. It's huge in the industry. You don't see that a lot. I mean, I'm even shocked that Grey's Anatomy is still going on. Like
Is Grey's Anatomy still going on?
it is still going on unless
Not
they
everyone
just
died.
finished. Everyone dies. You can never commit to any character because they are gonna die or they just leave because they're fed up with it. Like at this point, you should not work for Grace Sloan because it's a death sentence. But I mean, it's still so good. I've actually watched almost every single season of Grey's Anatomy. I don't think I've seen like maybe the last two seasons because once that COVID season happened, I kind of stopped watching after it. But it's amazing. I mean, it's still great. Even with a smaller cast, they add new people, but from the
Well,
original cast.
there's a big trend right now in medical dramas and medical TV dramas.
Yes, Pulse. Oh my God,
Okay,
so good.
I was gonna mention The Pit first.
Haven't seen The Pit yet, but you did mention that one to me. I have to watch it. But Pulse, oh my God. And it's in Miami, so
It's in
like,
Miami, yeah.
yeah,
But
I love
it
it.
is way better than Pulse.
Really?
Yes, Pulse is just like everyone's sexy and like having, I don't know, inner
Yeah, like inner
relations.
work relationships and yeah,
Yeah,
it's messy, but
and everyone's terrified of the hurricane, and
yeah, it's like, haven't
I'm
we seen
like,
this like all the time? Like,
you're in Miami, like who, like
I know, and no, but Pulse is so hot. Like everyone in Pulse is hot. I will say though, I love the nurses in Pulse. Like I love the chismoso, like nurse, like head nurse. Like I just love it. I love that it's in Miami. I mean, it adds a lot of diversity to the cast already, just being, located in Miami. I think it's a great show. I actually really like it, but I do have to check out The Pit. I'm pretty sure someone else mentioned it to me, but I just never got started on it. But yeah, Pulse is great. Is there any other shows you would like really recommend? I know you mentioned to me Poker Face.
Poker
Seen
Face.
that all over, like the
Love Poker
trailers.
Face. Love Natasha Lyonne. Poker Face is, I feel like sometimes I'm like her character. I'm like a walking lie detector. Like,
Yeah.
I know when someone is like literally telling me like the brew and like when it's bullshit.
Yeah, I love to call people out on their shit. The thing is, I'm so nice. So I kind of give everyone like the benefit of the doubt, but I just know. Like, I know when you're nice to me to be nice to me, and I know when you are just fake off the bat. Like, my boyfriend always tells me that it's insane, like my intuition and just like the way I can read people is kind of crazy. So we definitely have that in common. We just call people out on their shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you call bullshit.
We call bullshit.
Earlier today, I was at the Israeli Day Parade here in New York,
Hmm.
and when I was in the march and like walking, I met this couple that was like with like in our whole like group.
Hmm.
They just got engaged. Gorgeous couple, like
Hmm.
mid 20s. He's Israeli. She's also Jewish, blonde from New Jersey, massive, like 5 carat ring or something like
Oh,
that. And then they're like early 20s. I
okay. Damn, good for him getting her that ring at that age, you know? Like, that's a
Well,
flex.
well, yeah. Well, he also works for a law firm. You know, the Jews control the entertainment industry, the legal industry, the financial industry, the medical industry. But we're only 0.02% of the world's population
It's crazy.
because everyone keeps trying to kill us and we're somehow responsible for everything at the same time. We're very like large overachievers.
Yeah.
Broadway, music, like you name
Yeah. I
it.
mean, it is crazy the impact that the Jewish community has on the world and how much hate they tend to get. It's crazy because I mean, the whole point of a lot of like well, the whole point of like, I would say any kind of religion that believes in God believes in love at the core, you know. So I it's just insane to me the hate and backlash that community gets a lot, especially with everything going on politically in the world. But it's just because one person in one group is doing something heinous and horrible, that doesn't mean that the whole community is that way and that the whole community agrees with the actions that are happening. So, I mean, it's great that you're in such support of Israel and like the people that are in there that, are innocent and that show love towards others. I think it's great what you do. I really do.
Well, Israel, in full honesty, in the Middle East is the only real democracy that exists. They have one of the largest LGBTQIA plus communities.
Really?
Yes, it's not illegal, or you're not going to be thrown off of a roof or have your throat slit for being part of the LGBTQIA plus community.
Yeah.
Women have rights, the most rights, actually.
See, I don't know much when it comes to the way like they, like the structure and like how they are within like the home, with each other. So it's really interesting to learn this. I thought they would be a lot more conservative and way more against that stuff.
No, no, it's really more on, I mean, family is always first, and you're expected to like have children and like have a family, and like even if it's not your family, you protect other people's family.
Yeah.
Like you can go to the beach in Tel Aviv and like leave, like if you have a child on the beach and you need to go to the restroom, other people will automatically will just jump in and like take care, like without even hesitating. And when
That's
it's
incredible. No, I'm pretty sure I brought this up to you. Is this she's a content creator, she's a dancer, choreographer. Her name's Chachi Gonzalez. She made a whole TikTok talking about how I believe she moved to Finland, and over there they believe that letting the child have the natural air, oxygen outside is good for them. So you'll go to a restaurant, you'll see strollers parked outside with sleeping babies in them, like newborn babies bundled up in the cold outside in the strollers while the parents are inside eating their food, chilling because they're not concerned that people are gonna kidnap their child or anything's gonna happen to them because they genuinely believe there's a lot of benefits to them just taking in that natural air outside. And I mean, it's crazy the difference versus the US. You take your eyes off your kid for one second,
And all of a
they're
sudden,
gone. They're gone. Like I've seen videos of parents at a supermarket or at a Walmart with their kid literally holding their hand, and someone literally tugs their arm, tries to pull them away from the parent right then and there. So it's a completely different world in the US versus other countries in terms of how we have to protect our children, to what extent we have to, because things are scary here. I mean, it really is. It
well,
gets scary.
like a very large, like, a common question that I always get, because I lived in Israel, that people would ask me, well, were you afraid? Like, are you like, how is it? Like, oh, did he like almost die? Like, how many people did you kill? I'm like,
How many people did
what?
you kill is crazy.
I'm like, he never killed anyone. Actually, did not really feel afraid. I remember, to bring a specific memory, it had to have been like in my first month of living there in Israel. I went to Dizengoff Center. Dizengoff Center is like going to like Dolphin Mall. Okay, like it's a mall, but it's massive. It's like, and it's very confusing, like, to get around. Like, I'm
Okay,
like,
so then that's Aventura, because Dolphin I can figure out. Aventura, you put me in there, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I'm heading, I don't know where's what.
it's like a floor,
It's
there's
the
subfloors, there's a basement floor, there's a
no.
basement like half floor. But so everywhere you see soldiers everywhere, and they all have their weapons like out. And I remember asking this guy that was a soldier at the mall, I'm like, it's a little weird. Like, I come from New York. New York, there's like no guns allowed. Police in New York are actually not even allowed to have guns, which is insane.
Really, even if you have like the proper licensing, you can't just like walk around with a gun.
Places in New York City. And they literally put up signs. Well, this is kind of funny in New York. They put up signs saying, this is a no gun zone area. If you
Yeah, they have to specify.
No, and I'm like, because that is going to deter the person that has a gun. They're like, well, there was that sign. I guess
Well, I gotta head out, I gotta go back home. Yeah,
because they're like, if they are bringing a gun around or have the intent to like try to do harm, they're not
they're
gonna
gonna do
fucking
it. They're
they're
gonna
not
do
gonna they're not
it.
gonna fucking listen to a sign. I'm like, ooh, the
Yeah.
scary sign. Oh, that just told me police officers can't have guns. That's perfect. Like, it's weird. So I'm talking to the soldier in this mall, and I tell him, I'm like, it's just very odd for me to see like soldiers, and also people just carrying, their
Your
guns.
weapons, yeah.
And he then replies with, you're in the US, how many school shootings and mass shootings do you have that occur?
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, well, I think in that year was, when it was already like June. So it was like middle of the year. And I had to Google it. And in the US in that year was already like 149 mass shootings throughout the whole United States of America.
That's like
And
half of like that's almost like every day in the year. It's like half a year basically. If you
yeah.
have one every day, that's those
And
statistics were massive.
And then he's like, and how many mass shootings do you hear about in Israel? And I'm like, really? Like, none? Like, seriously? And he's like, it's because we all have guns. If you literally try to like kill someone, or like even attempt to even go into like an elementary school or go into a shopping mall or like and harm people, everyone's been in the military because it's compulsory, and you will be shot by the time you draw your weapon and try to kill someone else.
Yeah.
And it will be, and they call it, person has been neutralized,
My God.
not killed, neutral.
Neutralized. Holy shit. I mean, I would also argue that if everyone had guns here, things could also get very messy. It's also about, knowing who should even have a weapon in their hands because
Yeah.
that, yeah,
No,
you
no,
know.
of
But
course.
definitely I think in terms of like security guards having like the right protection for schools, especially for schools, because a teacher's job is not to risk their lives for their class. At the end of the day, that's what a lot of teachers have to do because I mean, if you're not gonna want, like, especially you have these kids all year, regardless if you did or didn't, they're still children. You're gonna want to risk your life for them, and it's not their responsibility to do so. They have their own lives, maybe their own families to go back to. So it's definitely, it's something that people have to consider is having a lot more security and making sure that this doesn't occur. This should not be occurring to the extent that it has, how frequently it has. I mean, having my son in a school right now is even scary for me. Like, you know how many times I was like, should I just do homeschooling? Like, but then at the same time, I want him to build those social skills and like be able to feel confident making friends and all of that. And yes, there's kids that are homeschooled and have that, but I wanted him to have the childhood I had. Unfortunately, this world is not like it used to be. Like my dad tells me, oh, back then I used to just ride my bike in the dark, like no issues. But now you go ride your bike at night in the dark, like you are at risk for getting kidnapped, run over, whatever it is at this point. But yeah, I mean, things have definitely changed. A lot has changed. Speaking
Well, I
of
mean,
change,
yeah, no, even also with changes, going back to the couple that was with me in the parade today, she was also with her like her best friend, like
hmm
there, and she and her best friend just had a baby and was like 1 year old, but was like in the stroller, like
hmm
on the parade. And I literally told her, well, I'm like, oh, it's really nice that like you and like your fiance, like you get along and like you're like actually like a really nice couple and everything.
like they're supportive of each other.
Yeah. And then she goes, well, I know everything that he does, so it's not hard. And I'm like for trust.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's why Jewish women are kind of scary in a weird way because they
Yeah, I
know
mean, okay.
their intuition, like they know, like
Yeah. I mean, I don't practice Judaism, even though I do come from Jewish descent, but I was raised Catholic, My beliefs, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm 100% Catholic just because I do believe in like some Buddhist beliefs. Like I believe in past lives, reincarnation, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm crazy. You can't get shit past me.
oh
Like
no,
the
no,
CIA,
no,
like I swear,
yeah,
you
no,
cannot
serious,
hide
no,
shit.
no, serious. Jewish women are more terrifying than Jewish men. A woman doesn't even have to say something, literally can enter a room and with a stare, like,
Yeah.
the oxygen. This, no, I did something bad. I'm sorry.
You should ask my man
There's a,
because he knows. He knows. He's like, I know you're a little crazy, but I love it.
that's why they
But
call it
yeah.
Jewish guilt.
Oh, never heard that.
Yeah, Jewish
But
guilt.
I was gonna bring up to you, you have had to seen this movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I always use this. I live by this. I say that the man is the head, the woman is the neck.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that is
And
true.
that's why he bought her that ring.
Yes. Happy wife, happy life. That's for damn sure. You better, all men better live by that motto because if not, your shit's about to get rocked.
No, seriously. And like it's just kind of like a interesting thing because it's everyone is, well, like I mentioned, everyone's compulsory to be in the military. So you have to serve 2 years. And serving 2 years, it can be being a cook, being a nurse, being a medic, being an engineer. Like there's a multiplicity of
Yeah,
roles,
people
right?
automatically think it's like you have a gun in your hand and yeah, like, yeah, there's so many different
It
things
could
to
be
do.
intelligence, it could be telecommunications, it could be like there's a whole swath, but everyone has to
Yeah.
do 2 years, right?
And what's the age that you have to like Do you know when it's like mandatory for you to join like a certain age?
18.
18. Okay.
If you're living in Israel or you're Jewish in Israel, it's mandatory from 18 to 27, 26.
So it doesn't mean necessarily you have to join at 18. You just have to within the 18 to 26 age gap, you have to at least have served
There,
2 years.
there are ways that you can like deter it, but really it's you turn 18, you go into the military.
Okay. Okay.
But if like you can deter it and like defer it, like if you're going to like university or like you like or if
Like
you
a pregnancy or
oh,
something,
right.
like yeah.
But even then after that deferment, you still have to go back like and do your 2 years.
Oh my God.
So it's like you either like find a way to deter it until like after you're 20, like seven.
Yeah, I mean, put me somewhere where I don't have to do much work because I don't think I'm built for that.
That's also why so many Jewish women literally have kids when they're 18 years old.
I did not know that.
Huh?
You learn something new every day. I'm gonna learn like multiple new things every day in this podcast, that's for sure.
Yes. Oh no, no, it's gonna be a lot of brew
A
and
lot of banter. Speaking of other stuff that's brewing, in terms of Israel and your life, let's talk about those Paris Olympics.
Paris.
No.
I don't think the French really like me, but je parlez-vous un petit français?
I took French for 3 years, but do not ask me anything in French. I can probably understand like the foundation, like the grammatical stuff in French. Like I probably will read it better than I'll ever speak it or like understand it when someone speaks it to me. But yeah, because when you speak a language and you're speaking fast, like it's hard to kind of process what each word means at the speed, at the rate that they're saying it. So for me, like I can't completely understand French, but maybe I can read a little bit of it. But I love the language. Never been to France. Now going together is gonna be a whole
Oh,
thing.
oh, well, so I took a selfie with the Israeli flag in support of the Israeli delegation that was in the Summer Olympics most recently in August. And
Mhm.
they thought that I was trying to incite a rebellion and a revolution by taking a photo with the Israeli flag because they were trying to also ban like Israel from competing at all in any category in the Summer Olympics.
Which I think is flawed.
I'm like, you think I'm trying to incite a revolution or rebellion? I'm like, y'all created Les Mis. Like, that is literally about creating a revolution and a rebellion against the government. And how many French revolutions have there been in your history of time? Now, me saying that to them, they don't like, being told those things.
They don't like being told they're wrong.
I
Like
didn't say
nobody
anything
likes.
that they were wrong. I just
Yeah,
literally.
but you doing that was like an insinuation of like you are getting this twisted. And to them, that's you coming at them. And they did
No,
not like that. We can get
oi,
into that.
oi. Like, no, it was insane because I'm saying all of this to them in English and they are responding to me, like they are understanding. And then they grab me by my feet and throw me against a tree and then take my passport from my possession and then drag me into a van and I'm like, I want to talk to a lawyer. I have rights.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't understand English. We don't speak English, only French. I'm like, you're saying it in forking English right now.
I already know you're gonna get hate just for trying to do the accent right there.
Gosh, whatever.
But I
It's
mean,
like it's like I have a kick me sign on the back of me.
no, I mean, I have a stomp on me sign because you already know, but that's ridiculous. I mean,
And they
all of
did
it was just
and they
wrong.
and they detained me for 28 hours, refused to let me speak with a lawyer. They wanted to make sure that I was Jewish, so they strip searched me to make sure that I was circumcised, which I am. And they refused to give me water. And when I asked for water, they literally told me to drink. They told me Jews drink toilet water because there's a toilet in the holding room.
That is, you were literally treated like a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Like, and animals shouldn't even be fucking treated that way, but you were treated just nasty, just fucking disgusting. Like, and they're like, we don't speak English as they're saying it in English. Like, right now, a huge, game that they put the trailer out for, GTA 6, massive in the industry, has broken various records. I mean, people have been waiting for GTA 6 alone for like 10 years. This is massive. Like when this game comes out, not a lot of companies in whether it's film, whatever, like in the industry, they're not going to be putting stuff out because you're going to be competing with like
Yes.
a huge, huge company. Um,
Well, I
but
think I think that they're already taking pre-sale orders, no?
I don't know if they're taking pre-sale orders yet. I just know that, I mean, they are announcing, like they announced the trailer. I think there were like maybe one or two trailers that I've seen.
Yeah.
Maybe I just saw a clip of like the trailer and I didn't know it was like the full length. But yeah, I mean GTA 6 is huge. My boyfriend does not shut up about it. Like he tells me that the second that that game comes out, I'll basically never see him. So I mean it's massive, but there's a lot of controversy behind it because of, how it was made. Also, like the fact that when you're playing that game, you're playing a criminal. You're not playing the police. You're playing someone committing crimes, robbing banks. You could even run over pedestrians in this game. I mean, it's the opportunities are endless, except, I mean, they have taken certain things out so they can give it a mature rating rather than adult only. So that's where a lot of the controversy stems, where a lot of parents don't think it deserves a mature rating. They believe it should be adults only just because, there was one game where in the coding there was like a mini game called like Hot Coffee, and in the game Hot Coffee you were able to have sex. And then when that was found out, it became this whole thing.
But it was embedded
Yeah,
by the engineers in like
yes.
that created the game.
Yeah,
But
but
it was like
then
a secret like Easter egg, right?
yeah, but the whole issue happened where they were trying to figure it out if that was purposefully done. So that became this whole thing where they're like, were you guys doing this on purpose for people to find it? And I mean, now with GTA 6, I mean, I don't know all the logistics of it. Even in the trailer, it shows, if you watch it, it shows like the two main characters. It's a woman and a guy, which huge that there's the first female lead in GTA 6. That is awesome. Love it. Um, but there is like an insinuation of like a sex scene, and I don't know how far it goes, but I mean, there's strip clubs in this game. There's, you name it, twerking, grinding on each other. Do I necessarily think that it should have a mature rating? I don't know. I mean, the argument goes where like people are like, but rated R movies, you can be 18 plus to watch them. So it's like, why can't people watch a rated R movie that has those things, and then why can't in the video game it be the same way? So that's where a lot of people are like, they argue whether it really should be that kind of a rating. Australia completely banned it. Like they they're like, I don't want to deal with any of that shit.
Yeah, the Aussies are, I mean, during COVID, I mean, they literally even put bans on like you can only move, I believe, by like 2 miles or 3 miles away from your house. Like distance rules as far as traveling.
I mean, they probably got rid of COVID quick as hell doing that shit. But let me say, do
But
you think they
hopefully
have
you didn't live very far away from something you needed because
needed like a hospital or
yeah,
a, I don't know,
a
supermarket,
grocery store. Yeah.
grocery store?
But
No.
I think too on the whole thing with movies versus video games and like rated R mature rating, is it similar? I think that with video games, what happens, uh, there's a lot of like it's interactive. Like it's
I was
not
just
like
gonna say,
it's
yeah,
not that you're just like
watching it, you're the
watching a
one
movie.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
You're
like
like
picking and
sitting and
choosing
you're
what
yeah.
you're gonna do.
Uh
Yeah. So
which
it's,
feels
yeah.
a little bit like it could go into like grooming in a
Yeah,
sense.
like desensitizing, you know, for
Yeah.
sure, because the more you see something, the less uncomfortable it'll make you, you
Yeah.
know?
And then also there's the interactivity with other players, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm old. I don't know.
I mean, look,
Do
my
your players can like talk to one another or like do they have the
so
ability to connect?
so it's like a storyline. So there's a set script and everything, right, for GTA 6. So they kind of they make it in a way where it's like a movie. So they take a lot of movies and kind of like use ideas like from Scarface, a lot of mafia movies to make this seem like you're literally like watching a film or like living in one, which that's why it's such an impressive game, not only because of the graphics and like what you're able to do, but the actual story itself is so interesting because there's been stories of like maybe there's like a couple and then the girl like betrays the guy and then it becomes like a revenge story, and there's so many like aspects to it that make it interesting, which
I,
is
fi-
why it's
I find life scary enough.
yeah. That my dad says that he's like, I don't like watching horror movies because I feel like my life was one, so I don't need any more of that shit.
I mean, when you
But
get
then
constant death threats, you know, like I once had, well, after the whole Paris situation, because I trended like virally on like 8 different countries, people found my address. They also found my mother's address, and they said that they would go and kill my mother in the middle of the night and slit her throat and rape her. And someone actually came into my building here and took a picture of my door, my front door.
that
And
scare you to be like, we know where you are.
yeah,
People are so sadistic. I mean, there's so many ways that's wrong, but it's also like you're not even this horrible person. The world really does try to villainize you, and it could be, you know, for whatever. Like you just being
it's
Israeli and you being in support of people, period. Not in support of those actions, but you're in support of your community, in support of lives, people that are innocent. So it's scary. I mean,
no, it
yeah,
is.
you definitely have had to take like lots of precautions to protect yourself because I mean,
No, yeah, totally. And like the fact that I have like police officers' phone numbers saved in my phone, like they literally told me like call in anything like direct threats, blah 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 blah, and give us their information.
well, that's good
That
at least that you have that support
oh,
because
that's
a lot
great.
of times, no.
That's a normal
It's great
experience.
that you're getting that. Just yeah, protect yourself at all costs, please. Like I need you to live as long as possible, Neil.
I'm trying. I'm doing it.
Please. Um, Yeah, I mean, ugh, I definitely am not everyone's cup of tea. That's what I'll say. Like, for different reasons. I have a very blunt personality, but I like to, you know, always add a little sugar to my spice. But yeah, there's a lot of things that about me that could be controversial. Like, if we really want to get into it, you know, about abortion. This is something I feel okay sharing just because it's part of my story.
You don't have to if you don't want.
Yeah, I know. But I'm completely okay with it because there's nothing anybody could tell me in any way, negative or positive, that I already haven't either thought of that about myself or heard it or felt it, whatever. And I take ownership for my decisions, you know? So, I mean, you already know I have my son, I have a boy. And then I did end up getting pregnant, you know, after, not with the father of my child, but I was, you know, with the father of my child for some time. We split up and I did start dating again. I am with a very loving partner. I am very in a very happy, loving relationship. Thank God. And we did get pregnant very soon. I was only dating him for 3 months when I found out I was pregnant. And it was very hard because it kind of felt like I found the love of my life. I found the person I wanted to have kids with, but it was just the worst timing. Like I had literally just quit my job right before I found out I was pregnant. So I literally was like jobless for like a month, and he wasn't in the best financial place either. We were both very much growing together. Like, and we're in such a better place now, but we were very much not in that moment, not in our relationship, but like just there's a lot of aspects when you're having a kid. And it was very scary because even though we wanted it together, we were like, I mean, I already have my son, and I didn't want to put another child into this world and just then affect my child that is currently here and put him in poverty, put myself through a really stressful situation, which there's other factors too that I didn't really think about at the time, but I think about now. There's so much health things that I'm like resolving now for myself because I didn't really take the time to do it before and prioritize my health. And my boyfriend is so supportive and he's always telling me like you have to think about it. Like if you would have gone through with that pregnancy, you don't know what you could have gone through physically. You probably weren't even healthy enough to carry through that pregnancy and something could have happened to you. And everything happens for a reason. I mean, where we are now would have never happened. Like a lot of the twists and turns that happened in my path would not have led me, to where I am now career wise, even as a person. Like I feel like I've become a better person, a better mother, a better girlfriend, like a daughter, and all around. But it was very tough because um I do believe that, a life is a life. And that's something I acknowledged. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, it's so early. Like it's not a life. I very much saw it like I knew what I was doing and it made it even harder for me. But he very much was like, I was like, you just say the word and I won't do it. But he had to, be strong for us. And he was just like, I don't want you to do this. But if it's what's best for us, like I will always support you through it. And I did end up having an abortion. I was like 3.5 weeks pregnant when I found out I was pregnant, and I had the abortion around 5.5 weeks. And I think about it all the time. Like, I mean, I still think about it. It's something that if I could go back in time, would I change it? Yes. But then again, I don't think it was meant to be different. I don't think that, I was supposed to go through the opposite of, like everything happens for a reason. And I had to forgive myself, which was like the hardest part of it. I mean, even though everyone's like, it's okay. And I didn't feel like it was. Like, I didn't feel like I was fine with myself. And I had to forgive myself. I definitely am now in a point where I have. And I'm very much pro choice. I think it's a woman's body, it's a woman's right. Because pregnancy, whether you're a healthy person or not, and whether you're financially stable or not, anything can happen in a pregnancy. You can die in a pregnancy. So you go through hormonal changes, physical changes. There's so much that goes into play. So at the end of the day, it's the woman's choice. But it doesn't make it any easier. So I mean, I'm okay with it. I wouldn't even want to say okay with it, but
No,
I've accepted it. Um, and when the time is right, um, I will very much, be able to welcome another baby into this world, hopefully, God willing, and then be at the right mental state, financial place to support my family. And then I know a lot of people are like, oh, like you could put, have your child be adopted. But then again, if you give birth and a complication happens, like it's still a risk. It's always a risk. And also, I mean, even the emotional trauma of letting your child go to somebody else is a lot. And I don't think I could have handled it. I definitely don't think I was able to. So I live with that decision. I have my moments where I cry and the anniversary of it comes around and I get really sad. Everything happens for a reason. That's a huge belief I have. And I should be able to forgive myself. If I believe God can forgive me, I should be able to forgive myself as well. And yeah, I mean, so if we can get into it about like adoption, I know that you wanting family is a huge thing as well.
yes.